Hey, y'all. So I saw a tweet the other day that said Black women are tired of working, and I felt that in my spirit. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about it for a little bit. So just to give you a little bit of background about me, I have 4 college degrees.
Fair use.
4, including a doctoral degree, which less than 2% of people in the entire world have. And I was raised, I'm in my 40s, and I'm part of that generation of women that were raised to be strong and independent. Somewhere along the way, the strong, independent, and the don't need no man part was added in. Now that's not me. That's not my testimony. I'm a Southern girl. I'm born and raised in the South, so I've never been one of those I don't need no man girls because, family and children were always important to me. However, I digress. My generation, many women in my age range were raised to be strong, independent, professional, highly educated women. And most of my circle is. Most of my circle, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're educators. They have many degrees. They're doing quite well in life. And still, a lot of us have this in common right now. At this point in my life, 4 degrees later, professional, educated, I can say with all clarity and with all, I don't even know how to get this out of my heart right now, but let me just say this. I don't want to work anymore. I'm done. I'm tired of it. I am completely over it. Let me tell you what I want to do. I want to wake up in the morning. I want to make myself an espresso. I want to get dressed and go to yoga. Maybe do a little shopping afterwards. Definitely have brunch. Come home, cook, clean, take care of my family, take care of my man. Tomorrow, rinse and repeat. Insert Pilates instead of yoga because, I have to switch it up. Throw some volunteering in there. Of course, traveling, being a lady who lunches, a lady who shops whenever she feels like it. That's the life that I want. That is the life that I want for myself. I was raised to think completely differently. However, I've made it to the point where a life of leisure is the life that I want to live. And I know I'm not by myself. I've had this conversation with other women who are raised like me, just as educated, and a lot of us feel the same way. It's a very interesting phenomenon, but here we are.
Now, gracious, where the hell does this damn thing come from? I'm about 2 seconds away from cussing up again like I did on the last one. So that was a TikTok video. And you can see why I'm probably not going to start off with the peace treaty. And this is from a woman that does not have any malice. Now, I'm going to start off with thanks. I want to thank Armando Mayo for coming through on the Cash App, and I mean that from the bottom of my black heart, from the depths of my black heart. And because I made a promise to you all regarding how I would use it unless you specified otherwise, I now have to give everybody notice that I am considering closing the business I started. I mean, of course, I still take the Cash App donations should they come in, but if I do close the business, of course, there will be no more salaries to pay for about a month after closing it. I'm still considering it, but the thing is that it's not making more money, and I expected to have to support the business myself for a while. But the issue now is that it's not, instead of me having to support it less and less as we inch closer to it making a profit, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's still costing about the same. And I'm just thinking, you know what, never mind. I don't do patience very well. I do work ethic. But patience, what the F for? Time is tight. Time is limited. Why should I be patient with anything? If I can be rushed with an emergency, then that means I don't need to be patient. So, yeah, I may close it. I'm considering it. I may have to just tell my agent, you know what? One more month. You know what? Never mind. We'll close it 2 weeks. We'll close it down 2 weeks from now. We'll pay the salaries. I'll send salary payments, and that's it. We're done because it's paying, it's costing, and it's not paying. Never mind. F that. And some would say, well, you know, Black Mind, if you take side gigs teaching English, then you could make more. I could if people were actually going to pay, but in this economy, the way things are, people are looking for ways to not pay for stuff. They're looking for ways to get ahead. I'm not teaching for free, but they're going to look for ways to not pay. And I'm not doing that. So, I wouldn't mind doing the extra work, but I already know I'm not going to get the extra pay. I've done work for some folks and it's just gone, just poof. I might say, okay, yeah, I'll teach. At the third lesson, they'll show up with the money from the first two. And in that third lesson, can't find them. I can't see their number. They're gone. So I'm done with that. But getting back to this, you heard what this woman said, and there's a reason I told you all what I'm dealing with. I'm not saying that to vent. I'm telling you all this because you as men understand how impossible it can be to make more money than what you already make. You know, an emergency that's impossible can still happen to you. Now you're facing this impossibly bad luck situation, but it's real. It really did happen despite being impossible. But when it comes down to you actually making more than what you make, you can't do it because no effort's going to actually result in a payoff. That's what you're facing. Well, you guys have been through this, and if you're my age, you've been through it for decades, and you heard this woman have the audacity, without even malice, you heard this woman with her audacity sit up and say what she wants to do. And all that she wants to do either costs money or pays nothing. She said she wants to wake up, get an espresso, have breakfast or brunch, go do yoga, shop, next day rinse, repeat, but she wants to trade the yoga out for Pilates and sometimes volunteer, travel. All of these things cost money except the volunteering. Actually, that would cost her transportation fees, but she wants to volunteer. She don't even want to work part-time. Just volunteer. Now, she did say, take care of my man. So she doesn't seem to have malice, but that's not necessary. It's not required for them to be a burden. You understand now? It is not necessary. Malice is not necessary for one to be a burden. Now that she's in her 40s, she has the nerve to sit up and talk about what she wants, and she wants a soft girl life. We don't do that over here. We do not give soft girl life to Westernicians if they don't have malice because they still waited too long. It's not about hatred. It's just about, you know what? We were young a while ago. Matter of fact, I don't recommend giving any woman what she wants in her old age if she wouldn't give a man what he wanted in his youth. And no, she still can't be a slut. Now that might sound impossible, I know. So what? It's war. Maybe over in some places and may not be in others, but as I stated, they've already started to export the gender war. So it's war. So with that being said, let me go ahead and point out something that let's talk about what we want. She said nothing about what a man wants. She loosely said one line, take care of a man. But does she even know how? Can she submit as BGS would ask? We know she can't. And there's more too. Let's talk about what we want. I, for instance, would like to not have to work, but all I'm asking for is to be able to start something and it actually succeeds if it's well funded from the beginning. Can't get it. You can't either, in many cases. Most of you can't. I'm not alone in it. I'm just saying you and I know about this. We deal with it. We live this. We want to be able to record, edit, upload with full concentration without being interrupted with the BS. We can't. I'd like to be able to do these things without the phone ringing as an interruption, without my students coming to me to bother me during my break time. I can't get it. The break between the two class sessions is my break too. They come bother me. I'm like, get out of my face. Stop asking me this stuff. Can't have it. And they got the nerve to sit up and talk about what they want like they could realistically get it. There's no reason they should. And it's not even, again, I don't say this out of hatred for her. I'm just saying this because of the decision that she made. Why realistically should she get what she wants? She wanted to make sure that no men got what we want. That was important to her. It was important to her that we as men did not get what we want when she was younger. A lot of young women, when they fall victim to this boss babe mentality, let alone when you add misandry to that, which this woman does not have, at least consciously. But just the boss babe mentality means you are not a source of pleasure for a man, a normal man at least. You're just not. But yet they still rack up high body counts. And I'm going to tell you before I go one more thing that they are facing. They're facing fatigue, which we know about. She's describing fatigue. But there's more. They're facing fatigue they don't want to work on. I understand why, to a certain extent, they wouldn't want to. It doesn't mean they don't have to. They absolutely do, but they don't want to work, naturally. But this is what's kicking. As they work anyway, because they don't want to. See, the phone only rings when I'm recording. As they work anyway, even though they don't want to. It's not enough for them to keep everything afloat. A lot of them are still facing eviction and homelessness, not having a place to go. There's just nowhere. The only roof they can keep over their head is their car roof. Maybe. So they're dealing with this for real. It's not a joke. They're really facing this. Even when they do work as much as they hate to, and they're facing fatigue, they know that that's all that's keeping this roof over his head, if that much, but they are still facing this really strong urge to just stop working at least full time, even though that's going to put them homeless. Some of them are waking up where they're so physically tired that they can't get to work on time, and they know they're going to lose their job anyway, but they just don't have the energy to make any changes. Guess what? You know what that means? They're facing eviction. Do you know what the eviction means? They're going to wind up in encampments of homeless people if they don't live in a car, and even if they do. And this is where it gets really bad. The homeless in certain places are being predated upon by carnivorous species. And this is in places where they didn't think that there was any species around large enough to actually predate on a full-grown adult. I don't know if it's a mountain lion here or a coyote there. I'm not really sure, but you've got these easy pickings. Now, human beings are not very nutritious for predators, but we are salty. So the salt content in human blood does tend to create man-eaters of species that otherwise would not be man-eaters. That's why we're not on the normal diet. But if one of them, for whatever reason, does catch a hold of a person and gets a taste of us, then they come back. It's not even about the nutrition. Half the time, it's about the taste. Could be that they get old, they get injured, they can't catch something faster. But then, you know what? Wait a minute. Take a bite out of us and, oh, that's salty. It's flavorful. But the point is that you got the homeless, and then you got a lot of drug addicts from amongst the homeless that are not in really good shape to build deterring structures, nor to fight off a predator that snatches them up in their sleep. And if they're completely high, they may not even wake up completely. Now, what does that tell you? These sisters are facing this. So what I'm saying to you, gentlemen, not even because of hatred, but because it's just a consequence, and it is not going to help you to try to get them out of this stuff. What I'm going to say to you, gentlemen, is if you know someone that has, she's not going to submit to you. You don't owe her anything. And she comes to you because she wants you to get her out of that situation. And you understand that she may be predated upon by some carnivore. I don't know if they're wild dogs, coyotes, coy dogs, coy wolves. Only thing I think they probably are not is wolves, because wolves they just generally don't. In North America, that is. They just don't in most cases. They don't go for us. But in any case, whatever the hell it is that's doing it, if you know that you live somewhere where the wilderness is not to be messed with, and she's facing homelessness, you still don't try to rescue her, even though police officers in some places are dropping homeless people off in these encampment areas because they know people are disappearing from them. Even though they're doing that, it ain't your call. It's not your problem. I don't say this because you hate him, because you want a coyote or some wild dogs to come and get him and drag them off and eat them up. It's not because you want that. I don't know. Maybe it's escaped tigers, because there are more tigers in the United States than there are in the rest of the wild all over the world combined. I don't know. It's not our problem to find out. And I know that we're not immune to eviction. We black men can be evicted as well, too. But we're not easy targets to the same level of ease that women are, depending on what the predator is. I do understand, though, that they're going to come to you desperate if they catch wind of this. Because more people are going to become aware of this over time. If they catch wind of this and they realize they're facing eviction, they're going to come to you. Can you please rescue me? And your job is to be like, no, I really can't. And I can tell you that is real. That's real. Predation is not a joke. If human beings are out there and exposed, predation's not a joke. So with that being said, do not be moved into a rescue mission. It ain't your problem. And understand this, if the situation was reversed, they would not help you. They would even say you deserve to be homeless for becoming homeless. You can get sick and can't work. Well, you deserve it. Should look after your health better. We don't do soft girl life. God doesn't do soft girl life for most women on the planet. Who are we to argue with that? So, we're going to have to let them wind up in these encampments as a lesson to the younger women, the ones that are still little girls and innocent and haven't done anything. They still are going to have to see the consequences play themselves out, literally letting nature take its course and logic on these older ones in order for them to have any incentive to be any better. As I can tell you now, the ones that are facing, like the lady that was talking just now, if she gets too tired to work and starts coming in late, she's about to face being fired and then being evicted. If she winds up homeless and you ask her, listen, don't you wish you had gone ahead and submitted and gotten you a good dude when you were in your 20s, getting your first degree? She's not going to have the strength to sit up and say and swallow her pride and say, you know what, I should have done that. She would not have that, because that would make that would make normal men too valuable. And with no malice at all, she was still trained to not do that. So the younger ones are going to have to see these consequences play out. Because they're not going to hear these older women sitting up and saying, I was wrong. I did it the wrong way. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Don't make that mistake. No, Chantel Simone does that. The others, they generally don't. They'll sit up and say, well, I made some financial decisions that were bad, or I went to the wrong field. They might even say I didn't save up enough. What they will not say is, I should have gotten under the covering of a good dude and lived within his means. I hope that what I've said helps. Just tell them watch out for predators. Thank you for listening, and as always, Black Heart, Black Mind, Blackout, Assalamu Alaikum, Black Heterosexual, now select male power because they don't like it in Black patriarchy until extinction of Judgment Day. Thank you for flying again with me on Jet Black Airways, where Jet Black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender justice forever.